Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. We're going to be giving you guys an update on how the markets kind of kickstarted off here on Monday. Now, one of the big things is we see a decent pullback across the board with the broader indexes, with Palantir pulling back a little bit, and even some of the other big AI stocks and the other stocks that we've been talking about. What you're seeing here is kind of a reiteration of Trump coming out and really pushing on the tariffs. And we see a lot of uncertainty that comes with the tariffs, even though that they claim that this is going to be a great way to help solve the debt crisis that we have in America. But however, we do not know the potential impact that this is definitely going to have on the economy. And that's why you're seeing uncertainty across the board. So if you're a new or returning viewer, hit that like button. Let's try to hit 25,000 subscribers. Keep this baby rolling. And of course, not a financial advisor, collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, if you pop it up on the screen here, Palantir comes down about another 1.7% today. Currently in the overnight hours on Robinhood is trading at 82.62. We're going to be talking about some different analysts that came out with some remarks and also looking at different types of price targets and, of course, criticisms, looking at both sides of the board. Looking at Palantir here, market cap's right now at $195 billion. So this is down about 30% since we've seen this all-time high at about the top here at that 125. And the question is, does Palantir have more room to fall? I think not just depending on Palantir, we're seeing a lot of outside factors that are affecting this individual stock particularly. And that is just the remarks that we're seeing, the general kind of pullback that we're seeing, especially with AI stocks. Palantir is being affected there. If we do continue to see a pullback with Palantir, that's where we could see testing of support kind of here in the 73 and then down here to 63.40. An important reversal was triggered there. That is where the downside potential lies. However, we have seen Palantir is kind of in the support zone right now as we speak at the 84, so there could definitely be a reversal at any point. Right, in the bullish direction, Wedbush is coming out here calling Palantir a top stock to actually own in 2025. Despite the recent losses continuing to name it as the top leader, even though shares of Palantir has fallen about 1/3 of their value in the wake of what we've seen with the kind of initial reason we saw the selling off that started with Palantir was, of course, the announcement of the defense budget cuts regarding the Pentagon, and of course with Alex Karp's disclosure for selling some shares over the next 6 months. However, Wedbush's analysts here are telling clients Monday that they expect Palantir's AI platform and the Trump administration to focus on efficiency could actually leave the company in a sweet spot. And we've talked about this before. If the Department of Governmental Efficiency, DOGE, is going to continue cutting these defensive contracts, eliminating waste, how does that workload get replaced? And one of the options there is AI. And we talked about how Palantir could kind of be an outlier and kind of be cushioned from these defense stocks, and the fact that it is kind of that idea answer or replacement when things do get cut. And if AI can be kind of a solution in that type of situation, then Palantir does benefit from that. So they say here that they believe Palantir could actually gain more deals in IT budget dollars across various government agencies, looking at just that whole scenario. One important thing here regarding prices is that Wedbush actually maintained an outperform rating and maintained its $120 price target for the stock over a 40% premium to the current price. We're also seeing a lot of analysts that are voicing similar sentiments in recent weeks, suggesting that last month, Palantir, this could possibly just be a buy the dip opportunity. Looking at this article from the street here, analysts who forecasted, they say here, Palantir's rally updates their stock price, going through the whole thing with the analysts on the street, talking about the recent sell-offs. We know why Palantir has came down, and basically the reason is that Palantir is still fundamentally a very strong business. However, not ignoring the fact that this might be the bottom, where is the support? Palantir could continue to rise. We've seen price targets from the street here talking about 133. Obviously, the stock started putting some constructiveness together right now. One of the big reasons that we see for valuation and the concern why it could go down further is mostly likely just due to the fact that Palantir is sitting at a high valuation. We know this. It's been disconnected from that idea right here. The fundamentals don't really support the stock's valuation, especially because Palantir is trading at an incredible 470 times its earnings and 76 times its actual sales. But nonetheless, Palantir does have an incredibly strong base business and has a lot of cash on hand, which I like, which gives them not only dryness when a big storm is coming through in the market, gives them a little bit of a cushion, but also allows them to continue to invest and stay as a competitive leader in this AI niche and in this industry. So personally, me right now, I could continue to see a price pullback in Palantir, and I wouldn't be all that surprised with what the market update will be talking about here in just a second. However, in the long term, I still believe Palantir still has a lot of room to accelerate and to grow upon its business. Fundamentally, we're not seeing changes within the business, and that is what's keeping me personally bullish on Palantir. Now, regarding the market, the Dow tumbles here. It sits more than 600 points. S&P posts its worst day since December, as the S&P comes down about 1.7%, NASDAQ down about 2.6%. Now, the retreat on Monday and the extending February's rout and turning yet for the year, what we're seeing here, the actual broad index is now at a year-to-date negative performance to a loss of about 0.5%. We see President Trump's, like I mentioned in the beginning, the reiteration that 25% levies on imports from Mexico and Canada would go into effect on Tuesday, dashing investors' hopes that hopefully a last-minute deal to avert the full tariffs on the two U.S. allies. So investors are hoping, hey, was there going to be some type of negotiation deal that would prevent this, or some new type of way to maybe smaller percentage tariffs? But nope, that was going into full effect on Tuesday. All these indexes traded in positive territory earlier in the day, saying that there's no room left for Mexico and Canada. And on top of that, also signed for an action here to impose an additional 10% duty on China, according to this administration. Now, with hitting this technology center and with stocks taking a direct hit from the tariffs on retaliation, you're also going to be having those reciprocal tariffs that will be coming. Those are going to be happening in April. Basically, any country that charges us a tariff, the Trump administration is going to charge them the same tariff. This is going to be happening specifically on April 2nd here. But like I said, tomorrow's tariffs, Tuesday, you're going to have that 25% in Canada and Mexico. That is where you're continuing to see downward pressure, and with the uncertainty that's happening within the markets. Some of the other stocks that we've been looking at that are dropping down pretty significantly. One of the big ones that we've been talking about is Big Bear AI. Remember when Big Bear just a few short weeks ago was trading at $10? Well, now it's down to $4.70. Now, this is a much more speculative, smaller cap AI stock. Market cap's only $1.2 billion here right now, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at this, Big Bear does have a decent amount of consolidation down here in the mid threes, and especially down here in the twos. You see Big Bear has traded here for a long time, got this pop-up. Will there be a recovery? One thing that we do know is that Big Bear is going to be heavily affected, just because it is a smaller cap stock, by any type of negative news regarding the defense budget cuts and within the Pentagon. However, Big Bear does have a tendency to kind of follow Palantir's trading action, just more in a more of a volatile way. So we will be keeping an eye on that. One of the other stocks that we're seeing coming down here now also significantly is Tempus AI. If you remember, just not that long ago, when Tempus was down here at the 35s, Nancy Pelosi had announced an exposure in an open position in Tempus AI, her smallest cap stock that was disclosed on that filing. And that's where you had Tempus push up to 91.45, now with a large retreat all the way back down to $50 and a market cap back down to $8.77 billion. Now, one of the big investors that's actually buying Tempus AI is Kathy Wood here, buys Tempus AI and Airbnb, looking specifically with Tempus AI, how many shares they bought, about a total of about $500,000, even with Tempus AI coming down. And despite its recent revenue miss in the fourth quarter earnings, the company had reported a better than expected earnings per share and provided strong guidance. So that's where we're sitting. Is this a buy the dip opportunity, or are these stocks going to continue to come down? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you guys so much. Great to be back, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.